Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'll share the project that I was going to try to work on during our live, but I don't know if you guys have ever watched any of my lives before. I'm really bad at multitasking when it comes to, working on projects and talking at the same time. But this is my current project. It's the yarn that I'm using, Tea Time XL, and it's so pretty. But I was under the impression, I don't know why, but Tea Time XL, when I saw XL, I thought that it would be at least a bulky weight yarn. It's totally not. It's a 4-weight. Very obviously, when you check it out. And it does say 4-weight. I don't know where I read that it was bulky. I think I just saw XL and got excited. So I'm remaking my campfire cardigan design. So I'm very, very early in the stages. I got done with my chain, so I wouldn't have to count. So but it'll be a great fall cardigan. I'm doing an oversized one since it's already going to be kind of lacy and open because it is a lighter weight. But I'm using an 11mm hook. This was actually from our Halloween crochet mystery box 2 years ago, I think. It's just a nice sparkly orange hook that's 11mm right here. So really excited. And I've got my spooky season, spooky friends hoodie on because it is getting to be that time. And of course, today we are having the spooky crochet queen herself coming to join us for a live that I'm super excited about because Kayla and I have not caught up. I'm guessing it's been over a year, if not longer. I'd have to go back and look. I feel like we did a catch-up chat not too long ago. So I'm so glad you guys are here to join us and to have some fun on our live. So without further ado, let's see if she is here yet.
I can see you on my end, but
can you see yourself?
I can. Yes. Not working? Fantastic. It's totally perfect because it's Friday the 13th.
Right?
That's why. And I love it. It had to be like something had to happen like this.
So, welcome everyone.
Hi.
Well,
So cool.
I mean, how have you been?
Literally so fantastic. I hope you've been well as well.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Everything's like good. You're crazy busy as well. You got a lot of stuff going on. I've just been, this time of year, I start really stalking your site and I'm like, hello, I see the spooky sweater on. I'm like, I got to get that. That tote bag.
Which one?
Yours. The orange tote bag that says, I don't need candy, just give me yarn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's always a special one.
Yes. Took it to the coffee shop yesterday and asked for coffee on it, but it's okay because now it smells like yarn and coffee.
That's fabulous.
So it's like fantastic. Perfect. But yes, everything is wonderful here. Just riding out these 100 days to Halloween, of which we are like well into at this point in time.
Yeah. So I know obviously that you do this year round.
Oh yeah.
But when does it really get into like the official for like, people who follow you and are like, oh, I'm waiting for like that moment though. Right. When does that really start?
So it kind of goes in waves. We have the people that join me halfway to Halloween. So all the way back in April. Mm-hmm. Then we have the 100 nights to Halloween because we do a little crochet along with that. That's awesome. Back in July. And then September 1st, it really does hit. People are like, you know what?
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice lattes out. I'm feeling like maybe I need a little spooky in my life. What's all?
I've got mine. You can't see it, and I don't know. I would actually love your opinion because, and I don't know if you drink the pumpkin spice lattes, but my favorite so far, and it's funny, I'm sure, I can't remember if I told you or not, we moved to Arkansas and we moved to a very small town in Arkansas. And so there are things I can't get, we have a Walmart and we have the other stores and we have all the things, but there are things where I'm like, I can't find it. And I'm guessing I'm not going to find it, but they do have the Chobani brand pumpkin spice creamer, which has become my absolute favorite.
That one is so rich and creamy. It's like a dessert.
And you only need like a little.
Yeah, it is super intense. Definitely go through that. End of August, all of them came out. Had to do a little taste test of like, what's my favorite? Got to run through all of those. Yeah. I like the nut pod ones though. That's more of like, it's like the essence. So I can.
Yes, they're not as sweet.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's your favorite creamer too. Oh my gosh, I love
Well,
it.
and I'm guessing that they are, I know they're better for you, right? Because of that. Like, I think that's one of
I,
their, you
I
know,
I just know that they're like there's no added sugar
yeah,
in it. So, which is why, I mean, because as much as I like the intense pumpkin ones, it's like if I'm gonna sip on it all day, I want something that's not, actually tastes like pumpkin, not
yeah,
uh
very
pumpkin
true.
candy
Oh,
corn.
I have to tell you. So, we moved in, again, this town that we moved into is known for being more of like a retirement community, which for us is
Yeah.
amazing because, we already have, because we work from home and work for ourselves, our schedule is more like, retirement schedule. Like we can be flexible and
There's
so we
five.
moved, yes, and we've moved into a neighborhood, and I said it's like having a whole bunch of like new moms and grandmothers to have moved into because they all wanted to, be that kind of person in our life when we moved in.
So
And our
cool.
neighbor cooks all the time and bakes.
Uh,
She
Literally.
asked me, "Do you want some pumpkin bread?" And
Who
I'll
says
tell
no to
you,
that?
I've never had pumpkin bread. I don't know. Have you had pumpkin bread?
Like my entire life. Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
had not had it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like pumpkin bread.
Oh my.
Pumpkin bread is so good.
It is seriously one of the best things. And like when you make it at home, you're cozy the rest of your day. So if someone makes that for you, they heart you so
Mhm.
much.
Well, and
Like
you talked
so
about
so.
it not being too sweet. That's, I think,
Yeah.
what I liked. It was like super moist
Yeah.
and not super sweet. It's like the perfect coffee cake bread thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I make mine, I'll put a little cinnamon and nutmeg in my butter and then like whip the butter up.
Ooh,
Yeah. And so yeah,
fancy.
we get real intense around here. All the things have to be spookified.
So I didn't know, and I mean, again, this is why I love these chats
Yeah.
because I didn't know. Do you like to bake? Like, is that a
Oh,
big part of your life, or?
so in a past life of mine, I actually was like a professional chef. Like that's what I did.
What?
That was my job.
Didn't know that. That's amazing.
So for a while, I just got burnt out. That's
Yeah.
really what it was. So for a while, I was like, I don't want to cook anything. Everyone shall cook me food. That will be my love language. Thank you very
Yep.
much. Help me out.
Yep.
Went a long time like that. But just recently, this past summer, I don't know, something happened, and I was like, rhubarb muffins sound amazing. And the people in my life were like, I mean, good for you. I'm not going to make that for you, though. I was like, okay, I guess I'll make it. And luckily, it was like Halloween decor hunting season. So I found these little like skull shaped muffin tins. And so it's kind of just,
Ooh.
and yeah, so now we're back to all of that. And my kitchen
That's,
is just, yeah, it's smelling like pumpkin spice every single day now.
I mean,
Yes.
it's like finding the essence of the Crojo for
It
baking again.
basically is, yeah. But yeah, it took a long while, which I feel like anyone who's ever burnt out on anything can
Yes.
understand that and relate. It's just, you gotta find it back again. What
Well,
we're
and
working on?
yes.
I am working on. It's technically called a lumbar support pillow, but I don't know
Ooh.
if I'm gonna keep going that direction or if I want to make a giant one because I need some giant pillows too. So, but yeah, it's just like there's like that weird spot in a couch where you can get a
Yes.
little uncomfortable sitting too long, you know?
Well, and it
So,
wears out. You can
it,
buy a couch that's supportive, and then after a couple years, it's like you're adding pillows behind
oh yeah,
yourself.
it just has a permanent shape of my butt there from crocheting
Yep.
all
And
day, every day.
so
Yes.
I can't see you.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I thought
So
it was like, hello, duh, look at
yes,
this yarn.
tell me. Someone actually just asked, "What yarn is it? What colors are
Yeah.
you working with? What we got going on
Okay.
here?"
So the one that I'm working on, this is the Bernat Red Splash. So it's the one that basically looks like a crime scene. I don't
You
know if
showed it in
they,
your stories,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that one.
Yes.
I don't know if they did it intentionally and then just like was real quiet about it, didn't tell anybody that it was Halloween,
Yep.
Dexter style type of yarn. But I love it. I have a blanket. I have two rugs in my house. I have pillows. I've made cat beds. I mean, it's this, you know, it's everywhere. And you love this type of yarn too. The
Oh yeah.
big, thick, chunky. Because I'm using the 25 millimeter crochet hook right now, so it's
Mhm.
gonna take all of 2 seconds to work this up today. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Does
which
it
is
does it happen to be a special 25 millimeter hook, or you got something else
oh,
happening?
of course. How embarrassing if I came with something other than the special one that I hounded you and I was like, please, 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 can you make this? The red hook with the black sparkles and the black
Yeah,
underneath. And yeah,
that was
I was talking
such a
about that.
special fun hook to make too, because that was like the whole kind of crime
Yeah.
scene-esque murder weapon.
And I'm just like,
Can we say all this on
yeah,
Instagram Live? I'm afraid they're going to shut us down.
I know, right? It looks like a crime scene. People, everybody says that about this yarn though. Like it's this like line of chat of people being like, is this like, did they know they did this? Because it says
Hmm.
red flash. For sure they had to know.
Yeah,
There's no way it could have got that marketing without them being like, where's all the Halloween ghoulies at? Because here's some
right.
yarn.
Yep,
You know what I mean? Just
yep,
watch
yep.
the scans of that. Yes. Yeah, I have so many of these. But yes, again, I know I've said this a million times, but thank you for making this hook for me because I know that I'm super extra, but when something gets in my head, you know how it is. It's like
Hmm.
this has to come to fruition now. Like I
Yep.
have to see this through.
For sure. Well, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of people actually just in this past year. I think I've had two people specifically come to me asking about 25 millimeter hooks because of videos that you've
Oh,
shared with the chunkier yarn. And
so funny.
one of the girls in particular was using that it's a new version of that one. I can't remember what she called it, but it was similar to that because it's like a color change, Celeste or something like that,
Yeah.
maybe. But
The Bernat mystical
yeah,
select.
it's one of.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's
Mm-hmm.
that one is cool too. Oh my gosh, I don't think I have that in here. I don't have it in here. But yeah, that one is really, really cool.
They have
Um
a lot of great colors. She shared it with me too, and I'm like, oh man, I really don't need to get more yarn. I am at that moment where I'm like, okay, I can't display it all, and I still haven't got my shelves figured out. And I've got Tupperware bins in my closet that's in the office full of stuff that I'm still working on. And I was like, I really just need to like cool it this year. Hobie is sending me enough stuff for their challenges, so I'm just chilling for a minute.
that's amazing. I guess it's also just like a cycle thing too. I feel for obvious reasons, I find more yarn that I enjoy this time of
Yeah,
year. So I'm just like constantly, okay, I gotta stock up because it's not gonna be here in February and I'm gonna
no,
want something for Halloween, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
especially with like you moving and everything, I'm sure that's was
Hmm.
it was it difficult to find things? Because I mean, I can see you and your background looks amazing. It looks like you have nice shelves. It just screams Evelyn with like all the pops of colors in there, which is really cool.
Yes, that was the goal for this office space, which is not anywhere near done because I wanted kind of a blank slate. I wanted it, you are literally the opposite of me with decor, of having things darker and creepy and spooky year round. And you've had time to really cater. And so when I moved into this office space, it was this dark teal color, which is crazy
That's
because the whole
wild.
rest of the house was white. And this one room that I wanted white to kind of start over, I had to use like 4 coats of white paint to get over the dark.
That's like a
Um,
very specific color too.
yes.
It,
So you
it
can
oh,
see
that's so
I've
cool.
got the
Oh,
desk over there,
I
so
love
it's
that.
all white right now, but I do, and that way the color really pops.
Yeah,
I got my beautiful yellow office
that looks
chair, which is wonderful.
cozy.
And I have a great closet over here that has been
Wow.
fantastic. So I've had space to hang things and to have the cubes, and it goes in on either side. So it has worked. It's a
Yeah,
phenomenal office
yeah.
space, but it's going to take time, to really get it going.
The the whole like just be patient, things work
Yeah.
out. It takes time. Gosh, that's it's awesome, but also a frustrating moment to be in too, because you're like, I just want to see it done. I
Yeah.
just want to like enjoy and
Uh-huh.
craft and all the things.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you'll appreciate one of the ideas that I have for this space. I don't know if you heard of the Crooked Spruce here on
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
So she makes the like mounts, like the
Yes.
crocheted heads and mounts. And so I want like crocheted, bright, colorful crocheted animal mounts in here somehow. I don't know what I want to
That
do
would be
yet,
so
but
cool.
we live in a space we moved here mainly because my husband wanted to fish for the rest of his life.
For sure.
Um,
That
and
was actually the
so,
reason, though. That's
yeah,
wild. I love it.
yeah. So it's amazing, but there's so much wildlife. And I was like, man, I want to do like obviously a fish mount. So like
Yeah.
a really bright, colorful fish mount, but I want to also do, I think she has a pattern for a jackalope. What
Yeah.
would be amazing?
That would be
So
so
these are some of the ideas in
cool.
my head. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's so many different directions you can go with that too. You can just keep adding like
Hmm.
pieces,
Yep.
adding all throughout the years, you know?
Yeah. And
Ooh,
do you follow Hey Coco? So I got all my headbands from her. Do you follow her
yeah.
by chance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Her accent walls are making me drool. I don't know if you've followed her lately, where she's doing these amazing like rainbow accent walls. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, I'm going to steal all of that.
Like all of it. Yep. For sure. That because when you first showed the headbands, I went and checked it out just to see, and I was like, "Oh, this is Evelyn, like to the T. I love it." But yeah, with the whole, I love when people take their creativity and their colors and like infuse it into their space too. Like it's not just
You
pieces.
almost have
I
to. It's
love
like your
it.
whole life.
Yeah, you might as well.
And Corbin
Uh,
Creative Works says, have y'all seen the dragon head mount? Now, is that I don't know if that's by the same person. I've been stalking all of her mounts for a long
so
time.
if it was there, you should see it. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. I'm sure they can make that though, for
Yeah.
sure.
She's got a couple of great patterns. I hope she continues to write more.
Yeah.
The Hook Wizard, I was going back through some of the comments. Holy crap, guys, you want to talk about yarn? I stumbled into an estate sale a few months ago and got 6 garbage bags of yarn for $35. I need to find better storage. You do.
Yep,
That's
that would do it. Wow,
necessary.
that's a deal though. That's so fun to go through all that stuff too. And you're like
Yes.
so lucky that it went to a house, a good home that's gonna use it again, you know, not
Yes.
just there.
And
That's awesome.
moving, I definitely had to get rid of some yarn. I actually
Oh,
Goodwilled a couple of garbage bags
oh
of extras, which was really tough. But I mean, I was to the point where I'm like, I don't need to move this many
yeah,
boxes of
right.
yarn. Like it's
And if
ridiculous.
you
Kayla,
know that you weren't gonna use it, yeah.
the yarn that you're working with, you want to share that one more time? Somebody was asking.
Oh, this one is the Bernat Red Splash, the Bernat Big in Red Splash from Your Inspiration. Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
then Miranda Sessoms, what's the username of the person with amazing accent walls? That would be Hey Nikoko. So that's where I get all of my headbands from. She's amazing. She makes it's new stuff ever. I think that's she's one of those people who she gets you hooked because she has new
Yeah.
drops like every single week and they're different. Her Halloween ones actually dropped this Thursday. Oh, well, I guess they dropped yesterday. Is that right? Maybe.
I
So she's
haven't
got new
seen it,
Halloween ones out.
but it's like weird how they show you updates. Sometimes I'll get it like 3 days later after that person has already like dropped it, which is kind of annoying. But okay, so I'm gonna have to go and check it out. Because yes, I
Yes.
definitely have a list of people that I'm like following them. I'm like, okay, your Halloween stuff should be coming out. Because to me, it seems late because I'm like, oh my gosh, all the things, you know, it
Yeah.
should have been out in July. And I'm like, okay, actually, though, no, not everyone is. Like September
I
is
know.
more than fine.
Well, I definitely wanted to, before I forget, because
Yeah.
I'm literally going to get to a point. I didn't want to keep you too long today. I still want to chat a little bit. I'm not done asking you some great
No,
questions.
I get it. We
But
get going on too.
let's see. To clarify, is this how their channel is spelled? I believe so. Yes. I don't know. I don't remember if there's any dots or dashes in Hey Coco's name, but if you search that on Instagram, it should bring her
For
up.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
And let's see, I just had another. Emma, will your hair be going back neon pink? It was so pretty. Oh man, y'all, you know how hard it is to keep this thing neon pink? Like, I'm just happy to keep it this color long enough.
Right. It's so intense, but it's like
You?
that's like an every week process. You like if you want
What
it to
color is your hair right now? Because again, I can't see you.
it's red. It's still red. We're
Okay.
good. Wouldn't that have been hilarious if I came on and be like, oh, I
Yeah.
have orange hair, and you're just like pretending like
So
I should have said something wild.
how long has your hair been red now? Because it has not always, right? You've had it like
No,
green
yeah,
in the past, right?
I've had green. Yes, I've had tons of different colors, but since I started my channel, it's only been red and green. And I went to green because it was a neon glow in the dark type of thing, which was really fun.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
that was wild to
Yeah.
update. Like it was a week and a half, and then I'd have to like update it. So I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? We're gonna stick with red.
Yeah.
It's great, nice
Yeah.
and easy. Yeah.
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 Pink has been fairly easy, but it does fade pretty quick. And then, I try to just embrace the spectrum
Sure.
of the of the
Yeah, you have to like
swing.
the whole process. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're like the baby pink, the rose gold pink, like
Yep.
everything
And
in
just
between.
accepting that every now and then it's going to look a little
Yeah,
blonde. That's okay too. But once it gets to that point, I'm like, I'd never wanted to be a
yeah,
blonde. So
right.
it's time to find
And
some of that hair dye.
which is kind of funny because that's how my process goes from red to pink. And so I know, like, okay, it's
Hmm.
time to dye. It's pink. It was like this summer, I was in and out of lakes like all the time. And I
Yes.
just like get in there,
It
come out a
fades
couple hours, and
it
it's like,
immediately.
you have pink hair.
Uh-huh.
Like, yep. And I didn't even have to pay money for it. Just sucked all the dye out of my hair.
Yes. Yeah, I realized that I never spent a lot of time on lakes until we moved here. And we've got two lakes on either side of the
That's
town.
so nice.
And so we've been invited quite a few times to go out on a boat and actually like just hang out in the lake. And
Yeah.
it's been wonderful. But I had just dyed my hair not that long ago, and I get out of after spending a day in the lake and in the sun, it was like almost all the color was gone.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was shocked.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it would make that big of a difference, but it
Oh,
really
yeah.
does.
Especially it's like that lake water too. It just I don't know, something about
Yep,
it. It's like you don't
yep,
look this color anymore. Goodbye.
yep,
It's all gone.
yep. Um, oh, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, I think you'd already posted about it, but I am guessing that you have already gotten some of the
Oh
Halloween
gosh.
honey bunny.
Yes. And I have it right here.
It's so cute.
It is the absolute cutest.
Um,
I was hoping that you got some too. I've been making
I got
scrunchies of mine.
I got all three.
Like,
You're making scrunchies?
I'm
Ooh.
making scrunchies out of them, like hair scrunchies.
I really like that idea. So my
I'm
goal,
like,
I
we
wanted
need
to make
something quick.
another Luna cardigan with it.
Mm,
And I'm
yeah,
going to do
please
stripes.
go that
So
direction.
stripes and
That is
then border. So the sleeves and the border will be the black. Uh,
oh, that is gonna be so cute.
I thought it might be because I think I only have one or two of those, and that's like the main one that I share with people as like your first cardigan. Like go try this one if you've never
Right.
made one. Did you notice the mistake on this yarn yet?
100% I did. And it's another thing that I really hope they did that on purpose. Like we Nightmare Before Christmas this,
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys y'all
So
had this yet, but
yeah,
Honey Bunny Candy
Christmas.
Christmas, but it's
It's not.
Halloween.
It's not. It's not. But I was like, I'm not
Pretty
even mad
fabulous.
about that. I think that's hilarious. I hope it was like someone just put it in there. Like, I wonder
It
if
makes me
anyone
want
would
to
notice.
keep a label.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I want to keep one of these labels as that's all. Then it's collectible, right?
Exactly. Okay, I like that. I like that. Well, because they did just add a new color to it. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
There's a purple in there now. Like a witchy
Oh.
purple.
And I probably would have done purple and green for like Beetlejuice.
Yes. That's what I did. So I put
I'm
in an
looking it up
order
right now.
for that. Seriously, do look because I like when I was doing like just like an unboxing of it, it
Doing
hadn't
this
been
to
that
me.
long. It's like, dang it. So yeah, you and I, we both saw it. Beetlejuice.
Is it the only one in stock? Oh, it says limited. Yeah, they say limited edition.
Yeah.
I only see the purple available
Oh no,
now.
No,
Maybe it's just on
no.
this one, but
But the
yeah, but
green is out too. Ugh,
it doesn't say
that's so
that
sad.
the other ones are even out of stock. I guess
They just have a big old X through it. Great. Great. Dreams come
now I
true.
have to figure out if I'm gonna have to buy that purple or not while it's still in stock. Y'all don't go buy none of this.
Seriously. Just forget we talked
It'll
about
be
it.
gone by the time we get off of the
No,
live chat.
just forget we talked about it.
Oh, that's
No,
crazy
but it's seriously,
that it's already out. Maybe they'll restock it just because there's still so much time to
I
Halloween.
hope they would. But
Yeah.
I don't know because they are definitely like one of those places where they drop it and they like go run
Yeah.
get it because
Have
it's
fun.
here like later. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think I still got the sock stuff. Y'all people that like that little bitty yarn, you've still
I
got some yarn to
know.
choose from.
The only reason I got that is because I have a sock knitting machine.
Yeah.
A few years ago that I tried to like crochet socks. It was fine. Like I was like, okay, it's fine. Do I enjoy it though? Like it's not something I reach for all the time, you know? So but
Yep.
like
Yep.
holding them a couple of them together and like working up wraps and stuff like that,
Yep.
sure, cool. Because
And
it
that's
is
what I'm hoping. I don't know
and
if
it's
you
like
were I don't know if you joined in my intro early enough to see, I'm working with this
yeah,
Tea Time XL.
yeah.
And I was like, ooh, XL, bulky.
Oh,
No.
oh no.
It's
I was
totally
amazed
worsted.
that you know that because
I
I was
don't
like, hold on.
think you can call it XL
Are
if
you
it's not at least bulky. That's just not right.
yeah, that's why I was like, sir, are you announcing that you're no longer going to do chunky yarn and this is your like transition into the
Well,
worsted
that was my
for
last pattern, and I don't even think I have it in here. I was looking for it. Oh, yeah, I do. So my last pattern, I used worsted. Yeah, but you can use
oh,
bulky. Like the pattern
yeah, yeah,
allows for bulky, but this was the little
yeah,
t-shirt. But
super cute.
I wanted that drape,
Yeah,
but you use a
especially
10 millimeter hook. So I was like, it's
it's
not
still there.
bulky, but it's a 10 millimeter
Yeah,
hook. It still counts as jumbo to me.
yeah, exactly. Yes, that's mostly work with DK and yeah, exactly. I love it for just like what you're saying, wearables.
Yeah.
But when I'm wanting to do something super super quick or just give my fingers a break, sometimes I need
Mhm.
that when I'm working with that fingering weights number one type of yarn. Just like we need something in between it. There's a time and a place for all the yarns, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I can agree with that. But
Maybe not Neverland World. You're like, no, get it out of here. It's cute,
that's the
but I hate it.
no. Worsted is as low as I go.
Is it
That's
for real?
huh?
Is that a for
Yes,
real? Like you're worsted and you're like max.
yes, yes. I
Wow.
don't own. Now I think there was a cotton yarn that I
Yeah.
used. It was like the Rico cotton lazy hazy summer, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I used 4 strands held together. It might have been like an Aran weight. Is that right? It's like right
Yeah.
under worsted. So I think it's like on the verge between a 3 and a 4, but I held 4 strands together. So,
So loophole found, and so you will use it, but in a
yeah,
very specific way. I
but
love
that would be it.
it.
Like I think that's the only time I've ever gotten, and that was gifted to me by the company to create the project. So I
Sure.
wouldn't have gone and purchased
That's
anything
fair.
smaller than a 4 weight. And I really don't buy a lot of 4 weight. If it's again, I thought
Yeah.
this was bulky, and
Yeah.
this was one of their, they sent this to me, which was great, and I do think it'll make a very cool transition cardigan being
It's
worsted.
gonna be really pretty too, like the color, because yeah, I've definitely seen that yarn in there before. I'm
Yeah,
like, the color layout
I think
is beautiful, but
so.
yeah, you might not be super happy when you're sitting down to make
It's
it.
gonna take a while, and I think I've never had a lot of patience
Ah,
with
yeah.
crafting growing up. So I always looked for those kind of like, if it wasn't instant gratification, it was things where you could really like like I used to scrapbook.
Yeah,
So like, you know, you're not going to finish the whole scrapbook in a night, but you can finish a couple pages and feel very gratified because you completed an entire page or an entire couple pages. So,
right,
you know, I think that's why when it comes to designing and crocheting, like I want those quicker projects where I don't feel like I've been working on a back panel for 3
right.
months.
I totally get that. Meanwhile, I have like 7 blankets going right now that I've been working on since April, and I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. Just crying over here, but it's gonna be so nice.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about your book club.
Yeah,
So, when did that have you been doing that for a couple of years? And then obviously you have to share what book is happening right now.
for sure. Yeah, it's been it's really kind of picked up speed in this year. So for a while it was, you know, a group of, you know, 50 or 60 people were like, hey, we all like to read books, but for me it's audiobooks. I mean,
Okay.
I need to, you know, I don't want to take time away from my crochet. So I don't know
True.
about you, but like I can power through audiobooks. Probably I can
Okay.
sit down, you know, do 2-3 books in a
Oh my
day and crochet, you
gosh.
know? Like
Can you
okay,
like fast forward the audio? Like it's talking a little bit too fast?
in fairness, some of them you do have to, just because it's like that's not the speed that I would read in my brain. And I
True.
get that do it for dramatic effect and everything, but I'm like, okay, 1.5, maybe 2.5. Let's
That's
speed this up here. You know?
hilarious. I
Yeah,
didn't even know you could do that.
yes,
So
it's amazing. So if you
life
love
hack
to
unlocked.
read, yes. If you love to read, but you also love to crochet, honestly, I'm the biggest advocator for audiobooks. I'm like, it's books, man. Like
Yeah.
seriously, just try them out. It's amazing. But
So
yeah, so then we did lots of
how do people join in to the book club?
uh
Like actually get, you know, is it just on
yeah,
Instagram or do you have can you
no,
email
it's
or how does that work?
on Instagram here. I do it to like vote, and then mainly on YouTube because we'll
Okay.
do like
Yeah.
a recap, and then at the end of the month we'll pick a new book together. So it's all like everyone chooses it. Like I'm not the one choosing the book. We're all, you know, voting together. And if you really like a certain book, you can vote here on Insta and also on YouTube. And like a lot of people do that. So like double vote. Yeah. So but yeah, it's seriously, it's super fun, and we've had some really good ones. We've had some ones that were not so great, but like I don't know, I really enjoy talking about books too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I don't think I've ever listened slower than 2
I
times the
saw that.
speed. But
Yeah. Yeah.
there are certain books you just have to like. Okay, I appreciate the voice acting, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's fabulous. I'm glad
yeah,
it's picked up speed. I mean, it's really, I've loved seeing those posts and kind of seeing, you know, what books you've chosen. And I finally have found my stride reading again. And
yay,
I have Terry Brooks is one of my favorite
sure,
authors, like in the fantasy world. And I'd
yeah,
read a lot of his books and I just started his Kingdom of Landover series. So the first one is like Magic Kingdom for sale. So this guy like buys a Magic Kingdom.
oh,
So it's really cool. And then he gets to
I'm
become
gonna
the
check
king,
that out.
but then there's all of these like shenanigans because the kingdom's like in ruin, you know, and he has to go in and try to figure things out. But really cool idea and you know fun to read
It's
and
that's
but
very unique too. I love world building. That's like my favorite part
yes,
of
you'd
fantasy.
probably really like that
That
one. I think that
that's
would
what I
be
was
an
like.
enjoyable
I'm gonna
one.
have to look that one up. I'm
Yeah.
on my 6th cozy murder mystery book of this month, and we are not
Cozy
that far. Ever
murder mystery.
so.
What a way
So
to what a genre.
it is a wildly specific one, but there are so many authors out there that like ride or die that so well.
Is it
And
actually a specific genre
it
or
is.
was that something you came up with?
No, I would love to take credit for it, but no, absolutely not. It is a huge genre, and specifically, like,
Wow.
if we're gonna get like into it, it's like cozy murder mystery, small town, witches, and or some sort of other magical character. Like that's the line that I love. And
Awesome.
there's so many of them. Like you wouldn't think. There's one called the Vampire Knitting Club. It's cozy murder mystery,
Okay.
like in a yarn shop. So they talk about wool all the time. We spend like multiple chapters just like discussing the patterns and stuff. And I'm like, this is amazing. I love this here. I want to live here forever.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
feel like cozy murder mystery is something I might actually need to look into.
I think you
Like
should. Yeah.
it just sounds, aw, how
It's
cool.
literally like a warm cup of tea. And if you like amateur sleuthing type of books, but they're like
Mhm.
all kind of quirky and the main characters have like a very specific niche. Either they're really into clothes or baking or sewing or like, something like that, knitting. And
Yeah,
have a lot of side chat about all the cozy activities that they do too. That's yeah, you should definitely check it out.
that's really and it's been hard for me to break out of fantasy, and I think it's because I hadn't been reading for a long time. And I don't know if anyone listening or if you as well has had the issue of I read a ton when I was little. Like that I grew up being the one that got in trouble for having my flashlight on after, with lights out time because I was reading a book.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it kind of ended in that transition into getting out, really getting into high school, out of high school, and into college, where life just gets almost too busy and you have to read what you're told to read,
Yeah.
and you just don't have as much time. And it was years. It wasn't until COVID that I was like, I need something, something's missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From these activities in my life. And I picked up when COVID hit, and it was like everybody, I hate to say lockdown because some areas it wasn't really a lockdown, but you weren't really supposed to go a whole lot of places and you were
No,
home a lot more.
lockdown of course.
And
Yeah.
yes, and
Being in your house.
so
Yeah.
I started reading. I read the whole Narnia series. I read the entire Lord of the Rings series. I read I was trying to think the first Shannara trilogy, which is Terry Brooks. And I just went through all of these that I still had in the house, and I read all of them.
So good.
And so now I'm just kind of like sucked into that same genre fantasy world. And I think once I get through the Landover series, because there's only three, and I'm on the second book now, that it's time to kind of branch out and see what else I might enjoy.
Right. It's, and I bet you
Yeah.
just like mentally, I noticed anyways, because I had the exact same thing. In college, I didn't really like it just kind of fell off and or I would just be too tired when I
Yeah.
came home and I don't want to do that. But
Yep.
for me, like mentally, in order to like, because I have sleep anxiety really, really bad.
Yeah.
And so like to shut my
Yes.
brain down, or at least allow it to be like, hey, it's okay. You can sleep. Nothing's
Hmm.
happening. Fight or flight. We don't need to be in that anymore. Reading helps majorly. And so, yeah, like
Hmm.
these past couple of years, just finding that again,
Yeah.
because I like to save my like tangible books for
Yeah.
nights, because it really then like no screens, nothing. I'm not crocheting. I'm not doing anything. I'm just focusing on allowing myself to sleep. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
So
Like yeah, it definitely.
in those situations, do you still do audio, or do you have physical books you read at
Uh,
night?
so at night I do have the physical book.
Okay. I
If I had
wondered.
my audiobook, that it would be too tempting to like pick up my yarn or like do something else, because I
Yep.
just would feel like I want to. It takes a little more effort for me to actually sit and read a paper book.
Yep.
So it
And it will make you tired. I mean, that's what you get to the point where you're rereading the same sentence a couple
right.
times. You're like, okay, time to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, I actually feel tired. This is amazing. I'm gonna have a wonderful night's sleep now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone out there is having trouble sleeping, try picking up a good book and reading it until you feel like you're going to fall asleep, and then try to fall asleep.
Or sometimes when I'm like, you know what, I literally am just not going to fall asleep. It's like a challenge.
Yeah.
I start reading a book. Worst case scenario, I end up reading a book until 6 in the morning, and I've just read this amazing book. Like there
It's
really
very
is no
true.
scenario there.
Yep. Just don't grab coffee.
Right.
Well, like I told you, I knew I was going to end up keeping you longer than 30 minutes because it's just been too
This
long,
is
and we need to do this again. This needs to at least be yearly, if not like we need to check in at the
yeah,
halfway point to Halloween.
absolutely. Yeah. Yes. For
Um,
sure.
but I did want to share because I'm super excited with everybody here. things really got thrown around when we moved, and there were things that we just didn't know if we were going to be able to do or not. You know, we ended up being able to pull off the DIY hook challenge this year, which was crazy.
Oh, that would have been
But
so
you
sad.
know, we got it done. And so we were thinking back and forth. If you guys have been following either of us for a while, you may have heard that leading into Halloween, there are Pink Sheep Halloween crochet mystery boxes. And I didn't know if it was going to happen this year because, man, you know, again, it's a lot to like gather things together. What are we going to put in them? How are we going to get everything in time? All that stuff. But it's happening this year. So
I'm so excited.
officially, year 4 of Halloween crochet mystery boxes are here.
Like in
Kayla's
the
is
shop
on the way to her
today?
house.
Like
So
in the shop. It's already in there today?
yes. So, and this was all Kayla's idea, you guys. I can't take any credit. She said, you guys should announce them on Friday the 13th. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are so smart. And that's totally what I need to do. But then I said, well, we need to go live
Yeah.
and talk first because it's been too long. But yes, so the Sheep Halloween crochet mystery boxes
Yeah.
are officially live in the Etsy shop. I did put the link in my bio. I have totally been not using link in bio lately because again with social media things just change and flow.
They
And
change.
um yeah, I still had buy your DIY crochet hook from the summer up in my link
I know.
bio.
And you're like, just
So
kidding.
yes, that's gone. You
Just
guys can
kidding.
check the link in my bio. You can go there. You can go to my Etsy shop. It's just pinksheepdesign.etsy.com. Try to keep it simple. But they're there. We're really excited about the mystery box this year, mainly because usually the mystery boxes, I never include yarn because there's tons of
Yeah.
boxes out there where you can get yarn and you'll have a project and all of that. And I feel like people are so picky about the yarn that they want to use. I would rather have a project and then you can choose whatever yarn you want, whether it's
Yeah.
something in your stash, you can buy something special, you can use some of the new Halloween yarn that's out. But this year there was a project that allowed me to collaborate with another small business. And you have everything you need but the yarn to create the cutest Halloween thing. I can't tell you what it is because
I,
it's a mystery.
I thought you were
But
gonna
I've
say
already made
it right now. I
one.
was like, whoa,
I'm so excited.
double surprise.
So, it just everything fell into place because I reached out to this maker. It's actually one of her
Oh,
patterns.
yay. Yeah.
Um, and I gathered all the other things to create that item, and she was really excited about it. And so I hope everybody loves everything this year. We planned for 100 boxes.
Ooh,
We went ahead and pre-purchased everything because, you know, usually we would do pre-orders and then have to close pre-orders and then order everything and like be in this huge hurry
scramble.
to get
Yeah.
everything ready. But we said we're going to cap it at 100 this year. You know, we have everything ready. So this year they're going to ship out a little bit quicker. I'm hoping everyone will have them a little bit faster so that they can enjoy them the majority of October.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see. I'm excited. I'm just glad that it worked
Me
out
too.
and glad you're excited.
Yeah, that's wild that you were almost not gonna do the box entirely. I was
It
like,
was gonna make
whoa,
me really sad.
I know. It's like you're on such a roll. It was like such an iconic thing to look forward to.
And it's been fun I would love to know from you because I think you've gotten the majority of them. And I would love to know if you've
Yeah.
had any like favorite items from past boxes.
I mean, honestly, there was a lot of things. A lot of so we got the ghost stitch markers last year,
Yeah.
but the
The glow
ones
in the dark
like
one.
the glow in the dark ones, but they're like ones that I can use on big chunky yarn. I don't have any.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. So like that's the cool things about your box is that there's like very specific to big chunky bulky yarn,
Yeah.
and then also just like the classics that are coming on with it too. Like I said, that tote bag,
Yes.
yeah, we love the totes. We just fill it up with yarn.
Hmm.
Yeah, the almost the entire box last year was glow in the dark. So you guys went hard last year
That
with
was
that.
fun. That was
Yeah.
a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finding the themes, that's always been tough. And, you know, I don't feel like I have to top every box each year, but I feel like it needs to be special. So, like, you know, because
They're
I'll
all
get
different.
into my own head and be like, is it good? You know, are people going to feel like it's good enough? Are they going to enjoy it that much? And so far, everybody
Yeah,
every year has been happy. So,
right. Well, it's just like there's a lot of variety in there too. So it's not like you're just waiting for one item. It's a fun Halloween surprise
yeah,
box, you know? So I think
that's the
that
goal.
definitely helps. I like
Well, I would
it.
I would love to know what are some of the things that you have coming up that people can look forward to. You know, that's my big Halloween thing. Halloween mystery boxes, they're here. They'll come to you soon. But what are some of the things that you have coming up that you're excited about?
So I have on my channel, we have a lot of Halloween stuff. I mean, this is when it really starts kind of ramping up. So
Hmm.
if you're interested in seeing how I decorate with all my crochet decor and things like that,
Yes.
that's coming
And
up. Um,
this is YouTube
yeah,
channel. Your YouTube channel is really like your bread and butter, I feel
yeah.
like. Yeah.
So right now I'm doing a 100 night countdown. So there's a
Okay.
video for every single, not every single day, but there's 100 of them, and they all eventually get up.
Yeah. That's a
Um,
lot.
yeah, so it was every single day, but then last week my mom called and was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Beetlejuice with me, like the premiere night?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
no." So absolutely. So we're like 2 days behind, but it just means we'll get 2 extra days
Yeah.
in November. So yeah, we have that going down. We have a lot the crochet alongs still. There's people joining in. I mean, my crochet alongs are very relaxed too. It's
Okay.
like
Yes.
even though it's a 100 night countdown to Halloween, join whenever you want. It's just a blanket, it's a TV, it's got like slime green ooze on it, totally
I
fine.
saw that. It's so
Join.
good.
Thank
That's
you.
such
I
a fun one.
it was another one that I'm like, I really hope that people like this because I had so much fun creating it
Yeah.
and hopefully other people enjoy it.
Yeah.
Type deal. Um, yeah, and then that's pretty much the main thing. We're here in the midst of Halloween doing all that. I don't do a ton of patterns once September has hit just because it's like there's a lot, there's a lot of other extra things going on. Um,
Oh, Adventures
aw,
in Enchanted Forest. 100 countdown videos has become my breakfast ritual.
that's
Yes,
so
I
kind
love it.
of you.
Mhm.
Yay. That's really what I was hoping it was going to be, too. It's just like a little bit of spooky every single day. Some days we talk about different yarn that I find out. I mean, we had like a big one with the Hirschner, or not the Hirschner, the Hobie Halloween yarn. And
Yeah,
other days I'm just like, hey, I'm going to clean up my yarn dungeon today. Let's just have a chill day,
yeah.
So, yes.
And
Do you
Crazy
both?
Monkey, yes. Yeah, I was gonna saw the same thing. We do both have YouTube channels, and it's just the same name, I believe.
Yeah,
Like if you search Alt Knots on there, it's gonna come up. And
yeah.
same Pink Sheep Design. Mine is all usually all one word. So if you just type that in all together, it should pop up. But yes, we both have YouTube. I am not as active on my YouTube channel. I hope to be one day. I aspire to be like Kayla.
I mean, it is like the initial setup is kind of hard, but like once you get into it, it's a fun rhythm. And
Yeah.
with you, but I mean, it's like a totally different scenario because I mean, you have like a tangible thing that you're making, so like that takes such a lot of time out, of your day too.
Yes.
So I totally get that.
Well, and that's it. I feel like it's you've done such an amazing job of finding a niche and expanding outside of it's not just about crochet, but it in a way it almost is because again, everything's
Yeah,
infused, so
definitely.
it's very special, I think. I think.
I love it too. Yeah. Pretty much if you like go into my channel, you'll like see like my entire house. It's just like hang out with me and here's how I use my crochet throughout the day. Because I mean, really, crochet is in your entire life, like every aspect of it. I mean, mine anyways. So it's
Yeah.
like inevitably you're gonna see how it all gets used in there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I missed you on YouTube, Evelyn. Oh, your
Huh?
lives. Yeah, because you used to have the lives on there too.
I know, and
That,
I think the lives it did good, but I think it got to a point where it felt overwhelming because I couldn't figure out. I felt like I had to have a theme or I had to have and you know, there's almost this point where when I was going live and I didn't have a theme, I was like, I'm too boring for this. Like, I feel like my life is too boring to go live and talk about my life because I'm like, same thing as last week. Woohoo, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. Most of the
So,
time, we all just want to like hang out and chat, though. We all are
yeah,
like, I have a project and I just want to like chat with other crafty humans, you know?
yeah.
So
Yes, I think if I could break through that
I think
wall, because I think that's the
just, yeah, you're
you
like putting
second
it
guess
on yourself.
yourself. We're so hard on ourselves, and if you can't get past that,
Yeah.
you know, like I think that's where we tend to hold ourselves back in that
Oh,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Hey, thanks, Ellen. Ellen says I'm not boring.
You're not worried.
Um, but yeah, I definitely, the main thing that I really, really, really want to bring back is the chats. So like this kind of like having people on, even if it's people I've already talked to in the past, like catching up and seeing how people are doing. And I feel like it created a way to get to know other makers,
Yeah.
you know, that where it wasn't like I know what I talk about for myself, but someone else might ask a question about me that I don't realize I haven't shared. You know, like I didn't know you were a chef. You know what I mean? So like and
Wild.
you don't think to like tell people.
No,
You're like that was, you know, back here. I don't bring that up and it
totally
comes up
different people.
when you're chatting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Huh.
I just miss everyone most of the time. Yeah, and I think that's what it is because it is a very like it's like a solo craft. Like that's
Yeah,
what we do. And for most of us, like me, don't get me wrong, I love my alone time. Like I
yeah,
need a lot of
same.
that to refresh and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, there are times like I wish I could talk to someone about how
yeah,
cool it
yeah,
is and like have the same reaction. So yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
why
agree.
Instagram, YouTube, it's amazing for that because we just find each other. We just flock
Yeah.
together.
And I think that's my big goal for 2025 is to bring back Pink Sheep and
That'd
Friends
be awesome.
fairly
Yeah.
regularly. Because I miss that and those are the ones that I can even if I'm not live on YouTube because I usually did them here.
Yeah.
But I would post them to YouTube. So it almost
For sure.
became like I still have man, there's like 50 something episodes on YouTube
Yeah.
of, you know, chatting with other makers, which is really cool to look back
It
on.
is. Yeah.
Let's see. Emma says maybe you could do lives here where people can come up and chat. And that's how Pink Sheep and Friends started. So I was going live on Fridays, and at the end of whatever it was, like I would make any announcements I had, I would just chat about what I was working on. Then I would be like, who wants to come on with me live right now?
You're like, come on, jump in.
Yes,
Hang
and
out.
people would share what they were working on, but I think it was a little there's only so many people that are willing to just like put themselves out there like that on the spot.
It is, yeah, it is
So
quite a bit, yeah.
it became more difficult to get people to join, or it was the same person, and so that's when I started kind of seeking people out, you know,
Right.
to join me each week. But it's funny how things like progress and morph and become something else.
Yeah, it is. Just naturally, it just finds its own way.
Yes. Well, I have kept you almost an hour, and I'm so glad that you came on
Thank you for
and
having me.
being a part of the announcement this year too. That's what you guys. I go to Kayla every year first now when we do our Halloween mystery boxes, so that she can be a part of it, and
So great.
she'll get to do an unboxing this year. But that'll be, you know, once all you guys get your stuff too, and y'all can enjoy them together. Um, but that's link in my bio for that if you want to check them out. But I hope we do this again super soon. At least, you know, yeah, more than every couple of years for
Yeah,
sure.
let's at least make it like an annual thing.
Yes, for sure. Um, I think that I was trying to remember. I had something in my head and I don't remember now. Oh, so usually I repost these videos on my feed, but because I weirdly can't see you
Yeah.
on my end, I don't know if that's all it's going to be. I don't know if I try to download this and repost it, if it's just going to be me. If for
I
some
know.
reason,
Yeah.
if for some reason it archives it with both of us like it's supposed to look, then I am going to post this to my feed. I hope that's what happens
Yeah.
because
Otherwise, you just came and you were here at the right place at the right time if you saw us both.
yes, and again, Friday the 13th.
Yep.
I mean, I may still post it because I can still hear you and it's been good. The chat's been great. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to not post it. I love our chat.
It'll be
So
fun.
we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed that
We'll
it
see.
you know downloads the right way. Oh man, well, I hope you have an amazing spooky season, even though it
Yep,
is kind of a yearly thing for you. But I'm gonna be
absolutely.
watching and seeing what you're doing. Oh, when do your movies start? Do you do that
Mm,
every year? Do you start like a movie night or are you already
yeah.
doing that?
So the movie night has been started. It's 100 movies again. So like I said, we go
Okay.
hard. Yep. So yeah,
Okay.
if
You
you're
go on.
interested in that,
So
I have it
if you
in
guys like
my
spooky
yeah.
movies, go check that out. Yes.
They range from like claymation all the way up to like Terrifier. So there's something in there for everybody, but it's in my highlights if you want to see all the past ones too.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, awesome. Yes, because you
Yeah.
told me you have like
Yeah.
campy ones and so that's
Yeah.
yeah, I like that people can kind of pick and choose what they want to join in on if they don't want to watch everything. So
There's 100, so you're bound to find at least a couple.
I would
Yeah.
I would
I
think
hope
so. Yeah.
so.
Awesome. Well, we will talk
Um,
very soon. Thank you
yes.
so much again for joining me today. It was a
Thanks for
fabulous chat.
having
And thanks to
me.
everyone in the comments. We had a ton of people that hung out with us this whole time. So thank you guys so much for joining in and being here and being a part of the chat. And hopefully you'll see more of these soon. We'll
Yes,
see. Fingers
definitely.
crossed. I'll talk to you soon.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.